And a little later. Still. For people like us, confidentiality is essential. It will be embarrassing if rumors spread that I sold client information. Although he was on his knees and with his arms raised, the bully intervened in an awkward voice, as if he was having a hard time answering Candice's question as he stared at her. Oh really? Candice, who had been sitting comfortably in her chair with her arms crossed, sat up at his response. Come on. Hey? You came all this way and left without even hearing an answer, sister? At her words, the informant who accompanied her asked with a large question mark on his face. Yes, let's go. Oh, let's take them too. We should hand them over to the authorities and collect the reward. Saying this, conjuring a strong rope with his magic, the thug screamed in terror. Yes, I will answer. Who are you looking for? It was supposed to come out like this a long time ago, Candice said, leaning back in her chair and explaining to those looking for her. Do you mean the guy without a right hand? Yes, the one who doesn't have a right hand. The one with the big scar under the eye. He's probably carrying a 13-year-old girl. I haven't seen any of those guys. The thug responded obediently, sweating profusely. Oh really? Yeah. How could I lie and say I'm safe? Looking into the eyes of the man who was bowing, it didn't seem like he was lying. At this, Candice stared at the informant accompanying her. Have I heard that you're dealing with smuggling? That's usually how it is. Candice sighed deeply as she watched the informant complain that if someone higher up was involved, they could have rented another ship. You. When Candice pointed her chin at the bully and called out to him, he responded in a strained voice. Do you mean me? Yes, to you. From now on, you will mobilize all his contacts to track down the people I mentioned. Understood? Yes. I understand. Leaving behind the thugs in their military uniforms, Candice left the bar. He left a request for the information agent to find out about the merchant ship that Natalia had mentioned. I was sure something would come of it. If that doesn't work, I'll have to run. He stretched his arms and returned to his hotel room. After successfully completing her first diplomatic mission as Crown Prince, Winfred had a busy schedule. The mountain of domestic issues that had accumulated during their stay abroad had become a major problem. He had to quickly find the Duke's house and tell him about his meeting with Isla, but he didn't have time to do it. Only after several days dealing with urgent matters, with no time to recover from the aftermath, was Winfred able to visit the Duke's residence. The Duke is away from home, so what is so urgent that you are rushing to take such an unusual vacation? His father, Hiram, complained loudly. She had not been able to see her son for some time due to being abroad, and was upset when he said she was going to the Duke's house instead of spending her first holiday with him. I feel like my friend has stolen my son. Even that friend is leading the knights towards the border to protect the country. I heard about the Duke. The Sakine tribe invaded, right? At her father's story, Winfred's face filled with anxiety. He wanted to tell Roderick and Ophelia everything about Isla, but why did the war suddenly break out? Luckily, the situation had quickly stabilized since the Weishafen Knights joined, so Roderick's return was imminent. Still, he couldn't help but feel regret. Then why did you insist on going to a house where you don't even have a teacher? Do you miss Noah that much? Hiram asked, his lips still pursed. I'll tell you when I get back. Until now, he hadn't told anyone about her except his parents, at Isla's request. But now that he was sure that this was related to Byron, he could no longer hide it from his father. Publicly, there was a reason why information about the rebellion could not be hidden from the emperor, and privately, the same could not be said. Whether he liked it or not, the fact that Byron was his father's older brother remained the same. Of course, it was not something Winfred could decide on her own, so she planned to discuss it with Ophelia first and then talk about it. It seems there is something I don't know. Hiram, who had been feigning surprise, saw in his son's face that he was hiding something serious, so he put aside his mischief and put on the face of an emperor. Winfred neither confirmed nor denied, and Hiram smiled and patted his son on the head. Have a good trip. I'll be back. With her father's permission, Winfred hurried to see the Duke of Weishafen. He thought that Ophelia would be very surprised by the news about Isla that he had brought. But, unfortunately for Ophelia, the news wasn't that new. Although Natalia was not sure that the girl she had seen was Isla, she had already heard that Isla might have headed to the Inselkov kingdom with Byron. You're not surprised? Winfred, who had assumed Ophelia would be surprised, scratched his cheek, feeling unnecessarily embarrassed. Oh, someone already told me that news. Ophelia mentioned the story she had heard from Natalia and the story of Candice's departure to the Inselkov kingdom to find Isla. There was no concrete proof, but now I am sure, thanks to His Highness the Crown Prince meeting Isla. She forced a smile and folded her hands carefully in her lap, trying to hide Winfred's trembling. It was really lucky. Had she not known this before, she would have risked making an unpleasant face to the young crown prince, with no one to calm her down. Oh, I didn't see Principal Epasher. I see. Winfred responded in a somewhat tired voice. He had tried very hard to break the news as soon as possible, only to find out that it was too late. Feeling a sense of emptiness, he relayed the following information. According to Isla, she said that Byron must have had a spy infiltrated the Duke's house. Ah, I see. But Ophelia wasn't surprised by the second information, because it was what Candice expected. It seems like you knew it too. Yes, I expected it. Winfred felt unnecessarily sullen. He felt bad for not bringing Isla back after seeing her, but all the news he was getting was outdated. He opened his mouth with a broken voice and apologized. I'm sorry, Duchess. Hey? What the devil? This time I wanted to bring Isla, but it seems that there were some circumstances, and she said that she had to return to Byron without fail. So I couldn't bring her. He wants to help Isla, but the only thing he could do was tell his parents. Even that is late news that everyone already knows. Ophelia tilted her head in confusion at Winfred's apology. What is the situation? Yes, I think she's a little scared. He didn't know it then, but thinking back, Isla must have looked sad and nervous when she heard his words, let's go back together. Is Byron threatening her? Is that why you can't leave it? Remembering her unforgivable uncle, Winfred unconsciously clenched her teeth and clenched her fists. I couldn't understand how someone with a soldering iron could be so cruel. Yeah. And Ophelia, who had suffered more for Byron than anyone and knew his evil better than anyone, bit her lip, deep in thought. If that were the case, he would never have left Isla alone. He would have used any means to ensure that he could not escape from his side. Your Highness, by any chance, did Isla tell you anything about Byron's purpose? Why did he kidnap the girl, for example? Ah, that's... Winfred swallowed hard. No matter how much he thought about it, the act was so heinous that he didn't dare say it out loud. Kill the Duke with Isla's own hands, he said. He wanted revenge. And when he finally opened his mouth with a broken voice, Ophelia had to clench her fists to keep from expressing her anger. Byron couldn't have kidnapped Ophelia and Roderick's daughter with good intentions, but he would have planned such a heinous plan. It wasn't a new feeling, considering the past, when she tried to kill her father with her bare hands, but Ophelia couldn't stand the thought of her beloved daughter, whom she would never harm, being involved in that undignified act. And revenge, what reason could have led Byron to harbor such deep resentment towards Roderick as to want such cruel revenge? It was also disgusting that he would make such an arbitrary mistake in believing that Roderick had betrayed him, and that he would so arbitrarily claim that Roderick had stolen her. Ophelia tried hard not to show her discomfort in front of the young crown prince, but Winfred, who was watching her carefully, seemed to lose her composure as she watched her expression. "I'm sorry," he apologized in a voice that showed shame. Isla told her not to worry, but being related to Byron was really embarrassing and disturbing.